Hello and welcome to another episode here on the channel. My name is Caswell, and today Microsoft bought Bethesda, but why? Well, as you maybe have heard, Microsoft has bought Zenimax Studios, which is the mother company of Bethesda and many more game studios. You have probably enjoyed the game in the last few years. And this came, of course, to a big shock of a lot of people yesterday where Microsoft and Bethesda announced, ha, we just bought them. And it definitely ended up with a lot of confusions because, as you maybe know, Sony has two timed exclusive with Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop right now on the contract, and people were like, what is happening with that? Well, is that now gone? Is that now owned by Microsoft? Is Microsoft actually like a publisher for PlayStation exclusives? What is going on here? And there was a lot of confusion going around. But thankfully, that got cleared up. If you've missed it, here's a little bit of information for you. In this case, Microsoft will actually honor the exclusive contracts for Deathloop and Ghostwire. And yeah, you are getting PlayStation timed exclusives from Microsoft. Well, this is, of course, the only time they would do this. They already said afterwards they would decide on, well, on a time to time basis and on a case to case basis if those games will come to other platforms. Now, a lot of people have already said, okay, this is clearly a hint of Microsoft that all the big games are still coming to PlayStation, and it makes totally sense. Like, why would they take a third party developer and make it a first party one? Like, Microsoft is not doing this. And you know what? It sounds a lot like just Sony fans trying to find a ray of hope that Microsoft just paid $7.5 billion to still bring those games to PlayStation. I have a little bit of a different take here. When Microsoft says on a case to case basis, they have done that before with other games. And whenever they talked about another platform, what they mostly mean is Nintendo Switch, but not PlayStation. Like we are at this weird point where Sony and Microsoft don't really acknowledge each other. Like they look at each other and they are like, Sony, PlayStation, never heard of them. Who are they? And Sony is the same thing. They are like, there are other consoles out there? Oh my god, I didn't know about this. Please tell me more. And it's like, what? Come on. You don't have to play that game. And so that was, of course, like a big confusion, and chances might be that we will still see some MMOs and stuff coming to PlayStation, but like Starfield, especially because it's a new IP, I hate to say it a bit, but I don't think that Starfield is coming to PlayStation. And what is happening with Fallout and with the Elder Scrolls, I don't know. But Microsoft paid a lot of money to own them now. Yes, they also said they will not change much at Bethesda, but keep also in mind that doesn't mean anything. Microsoft has said this all the time they bought a studio. Whenever they bought a studio, they were always like, we're not changing anything, we let them do what they do, we let them operate as its own thing, and we are basically just there to give them money whenever they need it and guide them with our ecosystem and make sure that it will be exclusive. That's basically what Microsoft has been doing in the last few years whenever they acquired a studio. And I know a lot of people don't know this because I have been in that position. I have been ignoring Microsoft for years and was always like, I don't really understand what Microsoft is doing, whatever. But now I can tell you, believe me, when they are saying they are letting Bethesda operate and ZeniMax operate as they always have been, what they meant is they will not tell them how to develop games. They will not do that. But what they will do, they will give them money, and most importantly, they will make sure that those games are optimized and also mostly exclusive on the Xbox system. That's what they would do. But now, this is all just stuff you probably heard yesterday. And you would be like, yeah, I already heard that, whatever. But the big question is, why? Why would Microsoft buy Zenimax? Why would they buy Bethesda? I will basically, by the way, I will now just say Bethesda instead of Zenimax. But keep in mind, when I mean Bethesda, I also mean actually Zenimax with all the other studios. But it's easier for recognition. So why would they buy Bethesda? Why? What's the reason for that? They already have a lot of RPG studios. Well, and there are always people who tell Microsoft that they don't have enough, and they needed a broad portfolio of a lot of games. They could have also gone for EA. They could have also gone for Ubisoft. But let's be real here, EA has also the Star Wars license, and well, that would have cost probably Microsoft a lot more. And they have also like all the sport licenses. Like EA has a lot of licenses. Microsoft wouldn't know if they could just keep them or if they have to renegotiate them. So EA is kind of a bad deal. What's with Ubisoft? Well, Ubisoft has to self-sort them out. Like Ubisoft has a lot of like internal struggles and issues right now, and I can see that Microsoft is not necessarily too interested. Then we have Activision Blizzard. Why not Activision Blizzard? Well, they also have like a lot of exclusive contracts with Sony and PlayStation, and because Microsoft is a company who honors those contracts, who knows if Call of Duty just doesn't have another 10-year contract with PlayStation, right? Like that's not something Microsoft wants to have on their conscience. So Activision Blizzard, and also you always have to see if those studios are actually open to be sold. Like there's also like a very important thing. Like not every company wants to be sold. And the interesting part with Bethesda here is, by the way, Bethesda was a private owned company. Not like EA, not like Ubisoft, not like Activision Blizzard, where you can just like, they're openly trade companies, right? Like you can buy into the company. Bethesda is not. Bethesda was a private owned company. And so it was probably easier for Microsoft to buy into that company. Who knows? Who knows? Like, I cannot tell you that. But what I can tell you, and that became clear in the last few months, Bethesda was more and more leaning to PlayStation. Like, Bethesda was normally always the developer who had closer ties with Xbox, right? There's the saying going around that on Xbox, all the Bethesda games were better optimized than on PlayStation, even though they are they really optimized anywhere? Like, no, jokes aside, like, Bethesda was leaning more and more and more to Sony. First Ghostwire Tokyo, then Deathloop, and now the newest, well, insider knowledge. Would you call it a rumor? Let's call it insider knowledge. The newest insider knowledge is basically that Starfield would have been another timed exclusive for the PlayStation. So what Microsoft here saw was a company slowly drifting away, another third-party company who was drifting away. And I know what you would say. Yeah, but that's only timed exclusive, Mo. You're like, yeah, sure, then they're not coming for a year to Xbox. I can wait. Well, me too. I can wait. I have so many games to play, I don't know where to start. Problem is, a lot of people don't. A lot of people want to play the games when they're coming out. The hype is real. The hype is real. And a lot of people want to play the games when they're coming out. So, of course, when they say like, yeah, the game takes like another year before it comes to Xbox, a lot of people are just like, you know what, I buy a PlayStation. I don't want to wait. Like it's another notch into the direction of buying a PlayStation instead of an Xbox. Now, of course, Microsoft could have chosen to go into a bidding war with PlayStation and just fight over every IP out there, if they're getting the exclusive rights to it or not, or timed exclusives. They could have done that, but it would have probably become more expensive to Microsoft instead of just buying the company, as crazy as that sounds. But the moment companies realize that Sony and Microsoft are open for a bidding war, you can bet that the price tags for that would go sky high. Like the moment EA finds out that, let's say, Sony and PlayStation, right? Sony and Microsoft want to have a bidding war, they would be like, yeah, so we would work on the new Mass Effect game. Normally, like a timed exclusive costs you like 5 million, but I would say we are starting at, let's say, how much does the game cost? 100 million? Yeah, let's start at 100 million here. Anybody interested? Because that's what's starting to happen. Like, developers will start, or publishers will start to finance their games through bidding wars over exclusivities. And I'm pretty sure that Sony and Microsoft are aware of that. And especially Microsoft would be like, no, we are not playing that game. Like, that is not something we will start to do. And in that case, it was really just cheaper for them to just buy Bethesda and make sure that those games are still coming to Xbox, or even exclusively are coming to Xbox instead of PlayStation. It's relatively simple. So if you're asking yourself, well, why would they do it? That's probably one of the reasons. They didn't want to go into an exclusivity war with Sony. And even though there was a lot of money they shelled out, I think in the long run, it was the better option. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and click the subscribe button, because we would always welcome more people to the channel. And if you want to see me live streaming, we are always streaming live from Monday to Friday at twitch.tv/chaosmall, starting at 8 AM ET, which is 1 PM GMT, with gaming news and more gameplay. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.